Hello, I'm Brad and welcome to Shop Piddling. Today we're going to be reassembling this front axle back under the tractor. I've got another video showing the disassembly of this to fix this, repair this steering gear that was leaking. And it was leaking right here where the two halves meet. There's a gasket under here. But anyway, I showed how to disassemble it. I've got everything all cleaned up, and in this video we're going to be putting it back together. So let's get going. This didn't even have to be taken off. I didn't know that at the time, but we're just going to stick the steering components, drag links or tie rods, we're just going to stick them back together. I think it's going to make it easier to reassemble this thing. Like I said, I bolted all these, left the original bolts back in it, and you'll see where I just took them out, but we're just going to bolt this back together. Maybe. I think the easiest way to do this is I'm going to go get my bobcat. I'll take the forks and I'll pick this front section up. That way it ain't so kind of awkward to handle, so I can get that steering, the drag links for the steering hooked back up to the pitman arm. I love this bobcat, but the bad thing about it is if you got a door on it and you're doing any lifting, you got to get out of the machine. This door is pretty much useless, so I'm going to pull it off real quick. Comes off real easy anyway. There we go. I'm just going to hook these links back up. show you what it looks like under here. All right, so under here you'll see it's got a dowel here, and then a place to line that dowel up right there. So it should be fairly easy to get it back in here, I hope. But anyway, I'm gonna wipe this surface and this surface off with some denatured alcohol so I can get ready to put my seal on. All right, now I'm gonna apply some of this. This is some Detroit anaerobic sealer gasket eliminator from Detroit. I use this a lot on putting seals together. I'm just gonna apply a thin bead. I'll probably put the seal up here, the new gasket up there, and I'll apply a seal bead, just a thin bead, and it'll use it to hold the gasket in place, and then we'll get this thing shimmied up in there. All right, I got the bobcat kind of holding up this front axle. I'm gonna take the floor jack and try to jack up the back and kind of work it in. This thing is a whole lot heavier than it looks. Go a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time. Slow and steady. gonna kind of lift up on this side just a little bit. There we go. I think what I'm gonna try to do is try to get a front bolt in. All right, I got one bolt in. If I can get another one in. That's two bolts in. All right, let me see if I can get one in the back here. Almost wonder now if I just need to let the tractor down some. Let's see what happens here. Let's just see what happens. But I'm gonna let her down. Needs to roll. It's like this whole front end needs to roll forward. Maybe these bolts are messing it up. There we go. All right, well, I finally got it together. It was just I tried to put it together when I got it close with 2 bolts in it, and I had to wind up taking the bolts back. And then I took a pipe wrench and just twisted on this, and you'll saw in the camera it just kind of popped together. And now I've already got 2 bolts in the front, and now we'll see if I can get the rest of the bolts in. But I'm good to take these jack stands and set it back down on the ground under its own pressure now. Hopefully that heater ain't messing with the sound. I guess I'll figure it out when I do the editing on this thing. But hopefully it's all right. All right, we're back on the tractor's own weight now. All right, let me see if I can get the rest of these bolts in. Everything's going in good, all the bolts. Real good. Little shock there. Glad we got that done with the Bobcat and got this door shut, because man, it sure is cold outside. I'm calling for maybe snow in the next couple of days. I don't know if it will or it won't, but we'll just see. You never know with the weatherman. This last bolt started. From a tight squeeze. I may have to jack it back up and rock the side to side to get the bolts out like I did, or getting them back in like I did getting them out. Gives more room for the ratchet. All right, we'll tighten them up. Like I say, these are 5/8 bolts. They got lock washers on them. Not real sure what they torque to, but I'm just gonna get them good and tight. Nose is running. It's too snug. Yeah, I'm gonna have to rock it. As you can see, that sealer that gasket eliminator I put in there squeezing out the side, so that's good. Because we got a good seal. Works real well. It's almost like it's double sealed now. We should be good. All right, let's go jack it back up here to tighten those other 2 that I'll have to rock the axle back and forth to get to. Let's see if that's enough. Yeah, there we go. rock it down enough that you can really get to it now. All right, let's get to the other side. That's the last one. Just tightening up this last one. This is going pretty smooth. I think the worst part was getting that axle line back up into that steering gear housing. But other than that, it ain't been too bad. All right, everything's tight. See how that sealer all pushed out around it. Got a real good seal all around through there. It's gonna be good. You can see the gear up in there. It's a whole lot cleaner than it was in there, boy, that's for sure. All right, now we'll get the gasket for this. Put on this steering shaft and get that in there. Rolling right along. I clean this up a little bit. Again, I'm just gonna, this is all I use is denatured alcohol. I'm gonna put some on a rag and I'm just gonna clean these two surfaces up. It just works real good. Just gets any dirt or residue off of it, grease. So the seal can have a fighting chance in sealing. Get my gasket here. Just gonna put a little on here. Not a lot. Also just helps it seal. It holds the gasket too for you. And basically you just take this rod and just screw it back in there. And you'll kind of feel it grab in the gear. Just push that down and start your screws, your bolts. So up here on this steering shaft, this piece should swivel. Kind of stuck. I'm maybe thinking about drilling a hole and putting a grease fitting in it, but we'll kind of see how it goes. But I should be able to turn this, but I can't. So what I'll do is I'll just smack it around with a hammer, and you'll see there's a hole here, there's a hole all the way through here, and then there's a hole all the way through this piece, and basically just a bolt runs down through there to hold this steel, but the shaft will still turn inside of it. Just gonna kind of tap it there a little bit. But it should move pretty easy. But this one won't. Let's move it around. Let's get it lined up there and kind of tap it in and just work him in there. There it is. And just stick your bolt through. And put your nut on the bottom. Just snugged up here. Good to go there. All right, now we'll start putting our pieces back on that we had took off. And first piece is this one right here. Sometimes you I'm gonna have to fool with these screws. I'm gonna get them broke loose, but it's fine. I can put them on like it is. But I'll get them messed with in a little while. Spray them real good. But these will point toward the ground. You know, I guess I'll just go ahead and break them things loose while I'm here. Wind's really howling out there. This Milwaukee gun's been a real good gun. I personally, for what I use it for, I haven't found anything yet that Milwaukee 1/2 inch wouldn't loosen. That's just me personally. I'm sure there's some stuff somebody has somewhere, but for what I use it for, I've never had anything it wouldn't take loose. Really, the only reason I bought it was to, when we go camping, I take it so I can have an impact gun to change a blowed out tire, which has happened. on my camper. Not on the camper, but the truck. There we go. All right. Got that fixed. All right, so the next thing we'll put on is this piece. And you really can't go but one way. You can't mess it up. There. Now we'll hook this rod back up. This is the one I got to get a pin for. We'll put this in anyway, the one that I do have. Turn that thing around. All right, now we'll put this big piece back on. Like I said, see how these are square head bolts? They get wedged right there and keep it from turning. It's the same way, that's how this one is on the bottom. But make sure these are all down. And then you're just gonna stick it up in there. Pull it back. Spray this too. Just tighten her down. Like so. All right, we'll move to the other side now. Basically the same thing on this side. That other bracket goes here and then down here. And like I said, you can't mess it up either. Only go one way. The big end goes down here, smaller end here. This one had a pin in it, so I'll put it back in. There we go. Now we'll hook our rod up. I guess you could put them either way, but I prefer to put them where they come out like that. All right. And just hook that there. Put your pins in here. Pin up here. All right, now we'll put this side back on. Same setup as the other side. Just want to make sure all your bolts are down. Slide it up through the big hole. Oh yeah. And we're just going to tighten this one up. Gonna hand do this one. I can't really get the gun in there. It's so close to this transmission. You ain't gotta kill this stuff. Just getting snug goes a long way on these old tractors. Okay, and there you have it. She's back together. I mean, the only thing I got left to do is put some fluid in it, in the steering gear box, but start to finish, y'all, I filmed this whole procedure on how to do this. It's really not that hard. You could probably do it without a machine, but Bobcat with forks, but I usually work by myself most of the time, so little pieces of equipment like that help me out tremendously. But I'm sure you could do the same thing with a cherry picker or a couple of more jacks, but that's just the method I chose to do it with, was a machine. Let me show you how you'd fill this thing up. So basically, to fill this up, this is your fill plug. And there's two plugs down here. There's one at the bottom and then one here. Of course, that's obviously the one you would drain it with. But you take that plug out and that plug, and when fluid starts coming out that hole right there, put the plug back in and she's full. Pretty sure those things call for 80-90 gear oil. I'm not going to put that in there. I think there's like a 00 or 000 oil that goes in there. That's what people say to put in there. Apparently, if you put regular 80-90 gear oil, it'll leak everywhere, even if it's resealed and everything. I don't know why, but I'm going to put that 00 or 000 oil in. It's supposed to be real thin and does real good, is what I've been told. I'm going to try it. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Oh yeah, one more thing. I did go to Skag today and I picked up my parts to fix this, the Cheetah. I got 2 belts, hydraulic belt and deck belt. Got a set of blades and new hydro gear filters. But I got the seals to fix this thing, so that's going to be coming up real soon. Real soon. So be looking for that. Well, again, as always, I appreciate y'all watching, and I hope this helps somebody out. It wasn't that hard to do. Just take your time and don't get frustrated. But I hope y'all enjoyed what you saw here. But anyway, just stay tuned for the Cheetah. Thanks again.